Alright, welcome back guys. So today we are going to be planting corn and soybeans. As you can see, since the last time I've got all the wheat drilled. So I also found the correct saddle tank for our spray tractor. Had I just read a little bit further into the Skywalker 8010 series, I would have seen the link for the correct tanks. But that also led me to this 7800 series or 7710 series John Deere, which actually fits our sprayer a little bit better. So I replaced the 8010 with the 7810 with the proper saddle tanks. So yeah, and I decided that we will try one of the Skywalker 8000 series on one of our bigger planters whenever we get that far ahead. So I've already got liquid fertilizer pulled out of the shed. I've got our other grain tender, or our other seed tender, loaded up with seed and ready to go to the farm, or out to the field. I've got our 7110 and our planter set up on the first field where we're going to be planting corn. I already have our course play set, so we're going to jump over there, get this tractor fired up, get him planting corn. And then I decided that we're gonna go ahead and buy another tractor and planter setup, just to speed this up. Granted, on a farm this big, you wouldn't have two tractors or planters, but just to speed it up, make it a little bit better for you guys to watch, we're gonna go ahead and buy another one. So we're gonna let him run for just a second, make sure everything's going good. It's kind of hard to tell, but as I said before, this is the row crop ready map, so you'll see the difference once the crop actually starts to come up. You can kind of tell if you look back at it here, you can see the individual rows. Somewhat, a little bit, not really. But I want to double check. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Oh, and I already have an idea of what we're going to run for our other rig here. So let's go ahead, jump in here, and get our new tractor and planter set up. So, planters. Decided we're going to run the Kinsey. It's the same size as our Case 950. Just a little bit different. So, and I think I'm going to go ahead and buy this. Well, we still have a lot to do, so let's just lease it instead. And then, as far as tractors are concerned, I think we're going to run Path. Oh. Oh, no, it's a tractor. There we go. Oh, passed it that time. We're going to run one of the Maxim series tractors. We're going to run a 5250. That planter requires 100 horse, but a little extra horsepower doesn't hurt. So, we'll go with the wider. Alright, we're going to go with the two-wheel drive setup. 900 pounds US weight. Rear fenders. Do a Dimco mount. Yes. Alright, there we go. Got that tractor set. We will lease that tractor as well. And I believe I already have another set of tanks at the farm. fit this tractor. Boy, that planer looks like it's scaled big, or this tractor's scaled way small. One of the two. Honestly, I think this planer is scaled way big. That being folded like that should be roughly as wide as the tractor is, a touch wider. As long as this road is scaled, and it's not. This road's actually a little bit narrow too, so the lane should be 9 feet. What the lane should be. So on a standard roadway, they're 9 feet wide. So this is a little bit narrow. This tractor should be roughly, I think they're 8 feet wide with wheels on them. Because they'll fit inside a standard lane most of the time on these smaller tractors. Now the big tractors obviously won't, but in this planter, center section should fit in that 9 feet. Cause it's 9 meters wide, which math conversions. Car. Oh, honk your horn at me. That was 30 feet wide. 9 meters is 30 feet. 30 and a half. 29 and a half, sorry. Oh, maybe it's not sealed wrong. Maybe I'm just crazy. But anyway, we'll head this to the farm. Get it filled up with seed and fertilizer. I'm gonna go ahead and select soybeans. We're gonna do vanilla soybeans to start out with. That way we can have one tractor doing corn, one tractor doing soybeans. Apparently this gravel road's actually wider than the main road. As far as the lane. You definitely will ever be able to get two vehicles pass one another on it. And as you can tell, I still haven't moved the combines. But planner opened up. Filled up a seed. Gotta do a bulk liquid tank. Alright, we got our planter filled up, so let's head over to the shop. And put the planter. Pull this into the shop here. Go grab the skid steer. Got to rearrange tanks because the MX tanks are in front of the others. I don't know how well this is gonna work out. I've never tried to actually move these tanks like this. Yeah. Not very well. Alright, so that's not gonna actually work. So much for being realistic. Okay. Well, let's move this back over. Here. Pick up that pallet. And then we'll cheat just a little bit. We'll just pick them up by hand and move them. Ah. And we'll move these back over against the wall. Teeter-totter, teeter-totter. That'll do. Turning the wrong way. One way to find out. Or do I not even have the right thing? There we go. I just haven't spun the wrong way. Oh, these saddle tanks won't work on this tractor. Literally on the ground. Okay. Yeah. That's not gonna work at all. Okay. And we can try the set for the MX and see. We've also got that set that came off of the John Deere 8000 series. We could try. Hey, that's at work. Somewhat, or a little bit on the wide side. Because they're set up for an MX. This that was the right width. Uh-oh, our planter tractor needs to be refilled. Out of seed. And actually, you know, even with us being that wide, I don't really mind it. Because it actually gets those lights out past the front tires. So I don't actually mind that at all. Now, I want to say that I cannot fill these with the bulk, but we'll try it. And actually, before we start messing with all of that, we need to go jump in the pickup and take seed out to the other planter, out to the other tractor, and keep him going. And misjudged that corner a little bit there. Alright. Oh. One more field up. And this will be our other cornfield. Bank's pretty good right there. Doesn't even look like he's quite done. Yeah, with the headland. Got one headland done. And he's on the second. Alright. Gonna refill or tell me that we can't refill this planter with. There it went. It makes sense that you would have to put seed in the seed box. And most of them, it's just the middle of the planter, middle of the drill, whatever. That one's a seed box. So, would make sense. Alright, let's jump back to our other setup. See if we can't maybe get to it here. Where? are you? I hear it running from here. There it is. Jump back to our 50-50. See if we can't fill it from the bulk tank. I don't think we can. I know the ones that are on the 7110 I can't fill from the bulk tank. Yeah, can't fill these ones in the bulk tank either. Which is why I've got pallets of liquid fertilizer up here, so that I can fill them from the pallets. Also why I don't have a bulk tank for herbicide. I've just got the oats. There's only like 7 gallons in that one. Alright. Filled up on fertilizer. And we're headed to this field. 156. We're going to plant these 3 in soybeans, these 2 in corn. And we're going to start from our furthest fields from the farm and work our way back towards the farm. Alright. Field. Planter opened up. But somewhat close to the corner. And play. On 2 headlands on this, and we'll see how 2 headlands do. 5% overlap. Even row. I'm gonna try this first year on with that even row to see, since this has a row crop ready, if it keeps the overlap down. Okay. I probably should have went ahead and set that to 9 meters instead of 8. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that. all the rest of our settings are the same. So we're just gonna go ahead and set that to the actual full 9 meters since the overlap's already built into the program. Alright, here we go. Planting some soybeans. So there you can actually see the row crop already a little bit better. The actual individual rows, you can actually see them now. Alright, getting along. Alright, now I'm kind of monitoring my liquid fertilizer usage down there. You can see that just above the soybeans there. Because normally with soybeans, you're not putting any fertilizer on. And going forward after this year, because we'll be planting the soybeans behind our wheat, we won't use any fertilizer or hardly any fertilizer at all. So, but this first year, we have to make up for the lack of nitrogen from before. Alright, let's jump over on our corn tractor here. Now this one, as you can see, it's showing, what, 12,000 gallons an acre, which is absolutely ridiculous. You're not using those 12,000 gallons an acre. So I used the rate in the top left corner, which right now we're at 282 liters a hectare. So if we convert that, to 282 liters per hectare works out to 30.15 gallons an acre. still running 282 there, we just got 205. And normally what I'll do is I will average it. Maybe we just jump to 333. So normally what I'll do is I'll average it, and that'll give us kind of a good idea for overall for the entire field. So, and I know a lot of you guys are wondering why I'm doing this, and you can't see it because number one, it's on a whole nother computer. But I actually have a spreadsheet, because I go way in depth on this. But I actually have a spreadsheet that I keep track of the average fertilizer application rate, the average seed rate for 10 consecutive plantings, and then average that out so I know what the average fertilizer usage and seed usage is for that crop. And I do this for every crop that I do. And then during harvest, I keep track of the yield per acre for 10 harvests for that crop, to average that out, and that allows me to figure out what my average cost to plant that crop, because I also keep track of how much herbicide I used, and figure that in as well. And it tells me what my maximum profit on that crop per acre is. Now, the things that it doesn't take into account is the cost of diesel fuel, the cost of maintenance, or the cost of hired help. And I just haven't figured out a good way to figure that. So and if I can figure out a good way to figure that, then I'll figure that in as well. Just, I haven't gotten that nearly that in depth with it, just because, like I said, don't know how to figure that. Oh, now these are all the way down to 10.4 gallon an acre average. But if you notice that on the top left, it's showing that our application rate is 0 liters per hectare. But we have obviously used some fertilizer. Not much, but a little bit. So honestly, fertilizer for the soybeans, we're probably just gonna go ahead and set it at 0, because again, moving forward starting next year, we'll be following wheat, and it'll be 0. So, because for 1,048.5 gallons, I bet if we wait, go back and look at it, it's still going to be 1048.5. So, corn looks like we're planting an average of 5 bushel an acre as far as the seed rate is concerned. So 307 on our fertilizer usage right now. There, we just hit 358 for a second. And I may end up switching, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Thought about switching planters, putting the 950 on the 5250, and then putting the Kinsey on this tractor. But the 950 cycler actually requires more horsepower than the Kinsey, so I may just leave it how we have it. That other tractor has enough horsepower, but I may leave it how we have it now, because this planter's every bit as big as that other one. So loam for most of this field. We're going to hit some silty clay here in just a second. So our environmental rate's gone up a little bit. Yeah, see, we just hit the silty clay and we dropped to 205 for a second. Now we're at 307 in silty clay. Out of seed. Back up here. Go back in our pickup. And you notice that our interactive control isn't working today. So, I don't know what was going on with it yesterday. Got some kind of weird mod conflict somewhere. Oh. But, we got the truck mirrors opened up, so. That's what I was most concerned with. Yeah, we're lined up good. Mound. Why are you not filling? Alright, let's adjust a little bit. Ah, there we go. I just need to be a little bit further back. Alright, here we go again. Feed rate staying the same. I think we got a pretty good idea on our application rate. Bottom side is 205 liters an acre, top side is 258. Sorry. Which is an average of 281 and a half. 281. 281.5 is 30.09 gallons per acre. Feed rate 5.7. back. Let this load for a second. So we can take a look at. Yeah. That's 1048 point. Oh, he used 0.3 gallons. 0.3 gallons of fertilizer. Not really enough to concern ourselves with. Like those corners actually came together fairly well. Which he's running back and oh no, he's actually planting. Yeah, he's actually planting. I thought he was actually going back to start his up and downs. But I mean, our feed rate with beans is 0.6 bushel an acre right now. We barely even put a dent in. Our seed, so one thing I do want to look at is, I mean, we're not going to be able to help super well until corn starts to grow. But it looks like with that overlap in the way that it is, well, it looks like it may be a double row. Can't tell for sure. We won't know for sure until the corn starts coming up. And that may possibly be because I have this set incorrectly. So we'll just have to wait and see. Because I may set this planter to 8.9 instead of 9 as well, which would account for that little bit there. But one thing I did want to see. Okay, so he's actually overplanting just a little bit into, because you can see where our headland rows are, and the vertical row just kind of past it just a little bit. But like I said, even though I'm trying to be as realistic as possible, it's still a game, so you have to take some of that stuff into account. And it's not going to be perfect. Yeah, he's actually about 3 rows into our headland, but it is what it is. So we'll just keep on planting. Keep on planting. he is working on the up and down. They're just going the other way. I figured that they would run up and down the long way, but they're not. They're running back and forth this way, which is gonna suck for corn. So I'll take that into account next time we set up course play for corn, because I want the combine to run up and down, even though there's an angle. I want it to run up and down. Yeah, them longer rows to run the combine up. Oh, he's overlapping quite a bit too. Let's see here. We'll adjust that. Where? In tractor settings. No, I don't. Think I can really adjust what we're wanting to adjust. He's about out of seed. Take a look at what our pH map. Nice, where we red line. Hey, get our nitrogen map up here. And we're good for soybeans, but corn, not even close. If you remember, our environmental score was 48 before, so we did raise it some. We're probably gonna have to add just a little bit of nitrogen to this field whenever we put soybeans in it. 0, maybe a little bit too low. So soybeans don't use a whole lot of nitrogen and actually add nitrogen back to the soil. So, which is why we plant them behind beans, or plant corn behind beans. Probably gonna have to fill it up one more time after this, maybe 2. using very much. We're not using very much at all. And we pretty well got our seed rate set. 0.6. One thing I haven't done since our wheat is sprouted, need to check, make sure we don't have any weeds in there. One more. Nope. No weeds in our wheat. I didn't figure we would have. Normally we won't get any weeds in our wheat because we completely ripped the ground, lined it, and then just get in the spring. So normally don't get weed in there. Now, our soybeans and our corn will both have weeds in them, so we'll have to, once it sprouts up, we'll actually have to spray herbicide on it. At the rate that we're chewing through liquid fertilizer, we will have to, or had we not put the saddle tanks on here, we would have had to refill the fertilizer tanks on the planter. Oh. Which is the reason why I always run liquid fertilizer tank on, or saddle tanks on our planting tractor. Same thing with our sprayer tractor. I run them saddle tanks. And also have our sprayer set up for spot spray, so that number one, we don't use near as much herbicide. And number two, with the saddle tanks, is you can run pretty much, should be able to run all of our field without having to refill the tanks. This field's super rocky. Oh, but we didn't pick rocks in this field because I don't know why I didn't. I should have, but normally I don't pick rocks except for in the spring after we disc. So, but we will roll the soybean field. And you notice we didn't roll the wheat field, but we will roll the soybean field. So let's actually go ahead and jump into Alice here. And we'll go ahead and get it taken up to the field. Of course, we won't start rolling until tractor and planter get done. But we can go ahead and get the tractor and roller moved up there. And that will help push down a bunch of that rock. Now the bigger rock of course won't, but and I don't know if I've apologized for that stupid notification constantly coming up on the bottom of the screen. It's annoying, super annoying, and I cannot get rid of it. I cannot shut it off, can't turn it off, and I'm not even using the mouse cordless. It's freaking plugged in and fully charged, but that notification will not go away. It's a software thing that I have searched forever trying to figure out how to get rid of it and can't get rid of it. So, alright, and I mean, I guess I could run the roller. And see, this is what I was talking about with the row crop ready, because you can see the nice rows here. Nice rows, and then the skip right here. And while we can go back and replant that, we're going to have serious overlap. Now, with beans, it doesn't really matter because you use a draper header to harvest beans. But with corn, in real life, you end up knocking all those ears off, and you would lose all those ears. Or vast majority of them. So, I guess we can actually just start rolling. And then we'll just stay on the bottom side, kind of behind him. Get adjusted here. Line up with that row. Got our GPS marker. Our B marker. There we go. And I don't know how many of you guys saw when I was going through the settings, but I got the crop destruction off. Normally I would have it on, and on my other map, I do have it on. The reason I have it off on this map and the Orin, Missouri map is because of peanuts and the way that you have to harvest the peanuts. It's just, you have to be able to drive right over the top of peanuts, and you'll destroy a huge portion of them if you don't have that crop destruction off. And there's just no way around it, so. We are narrower than the headland, so we'll go ahead and run our headland around. Since I'm freestyling here. Oh, this tractor doesn't have a marker up on the hood. We'll just try to keep the center of the hood right in between, right in the middle of those two rows. Get back on our line here. Uh-oh. Planting corn tractor needs to be filled back up. We'll get down here to the corner. And then we will jump over back to the pickup and tender. get that tractor filled back up. Yep, should be out of the way there. With as much fertilizer that we've used, so we're gonna fall below 50%. We're gonna have to put that pallet of liquid fertilizer on the truck when we go back to fill up the seed tender, or else we will not have enough. Definitely won't have enough fertilizer for our next cornfield, because it's even bigger than the field that we're in. The field that we're in is 32 acres. The one we're going into is 42, so got an extra 10 acres that we got to plant. So we'll just have to stick the powder liquid fertilizer up on the truck. So won't be no big deal. All right, we'll go back to rolling. We'll wait for the tractor planter to turn around. Give him plenty of room. And we'll take off again. Pretty good chunk of rock right there. Yeah. Got rid of the little one. Of course, big ones are still there. We'll just have to deal with it until corn gets planted up here and we rip this ground. And I guess we could go ahead and come through it, pick the rock, but alright, now we're back at the beginning. Now, we need to do a second headland. Second pass on the headland. just so I've got more room, but obviously can't do that because planter hasn't made it to the field yet. And our second pass would overlap in the ground that hasn't been planted yet. Which means that we'd have to re-roll all that ground, which is a massive waste of diesel fuel and time. So the other way we can do it is we can stop short and then go back and roll just the headland again. Which normally, I don't know how most people do it in real life. The way that we did it on the farm was we actually planted our up and down rows first. So we plant all of the middle section first. And then after the entire middle section was planted, we would go back, plant the innermost headland, and then the outermost headland. So that way when you were done, you ended up back at the entrance to the field. You'd fold up your equipment and pull out on the road and take off to the next field. And the reason being is the headland is where you turn your equipment around at. So it's the area that gets the most compacted. So by planting your headlands last, it just helps the crop. I just turned the wrong way. Like I said, I don't know how most people do it. That's just the way that we did it. Now, when I was a kid, of course, I didn't take part in it. I rode in the tractor some. But back in those days, you didn't have GPS. So it was pure skill being able to get your center, your up and down, over into your headlands and try not to have overlap, especially with your corn. So, needless to say, there ended up being quite a bit of overlap. Now, when I was in South Dakota, the equipment that they ran up there, of course, all had GPS on it, auto steer, and the planters all had GPS on them, so that the rows would actually shut off individually, and it was all GPS computer controlled, so you could literally, with the planter down, run over ground that you had already planted, and it wouldn't double plant. So it would actually shut the rows off to keep you from overplanting. So, but it also adjusts the seed rate, and it was crazy how in-depth that equipment was and what all it could do. Granted, it was insanely expensive, but that money all got made up in the fact that you weren't double planting, you weren't knocking your corn off when you were harvesting, you weren't wasting seed when you were planting, you weren't wasting fertilizer when you were planting. So in the long run, it ended up saving money. It was just a high initial cost. He told me what it cost him to put that on his planters, and it was, I want to say one planter was like 100 or 125,000 to have that put on it, and the big planter was like 175, 160, something like that. So pretty good chunk of change. I mean, for him it wasn't, but granted he didn't like spending money, but still. I mean, that $100,000 was literally pocket change for him, but On button. That one, the road's not quite lining up either. But, and the spacing's a little bit off, but not bad. Not too bad at all, actually. So hopefully I didn't get that Alice Chalmers too far up to where it interferes with this tractor and running around. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I left it far enough back. Oh yeah. And I was actually thinking about it. I may next spring go ahead and buy the air drill. I haven't decided because of course these two fields here will be wheat next year, so we're not gonna get into these three until the following. But granted, these two fields here are roughly the same size as this one, so it won't take terribly long to drill it. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Depends on how funds are doing, that kind of stuff. I would prefer, rather than spending the money on equipment and coming over here and buying this field here, the 166, and then 165. So we can have a little bit more land to farm. And then after that, we're going to get 160 and 158. Then we'll move up and hit these core fields here. 155, 154, 153, 152. Probably in that order. 155, 154, 153, 152. This is another road that goes up to the main road. Oh, but that would have this entire section would be ours. Moving north, possibly after that. So up into 78, 77, 75, and 76. And then we may go ahead and jump over and pick up 65. So that we've got all of these. And then work across to 74, 73, 72. 72 is going to be a big field here. Of course, it won't tell me how much it is. 15 hectares. 13, 14. So, 16 on that one. On 155. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for the expansion plan, where we would have this down here and then start moving west from there, because these over here are small fields. But at the same time, even though they're smaller fields, depending on what it looks like, we may end up ripping 151 and 150 together, so that 149 through 151 is one massive field. It just depends on how these fields are separated. Same thing here with 140, 141, 142, and 143, depending on how they're separated, which this looks like a road, but we may end up ripping these four fields together at some point. So the problem that I'm looking at is, I guess it won't be too bad because there's that road that runs along the bottom here as far as getting into it. But once we get to this, whatever this is, I'm assuming that it's a river. We won't be able to cross. I don't know. We'll have to look at it. Maybe it'll put a bridge across it. But being able to go across this bottom here, we'll be able to get to all these lower fields, be able to get up to this road, come across to get to all these. So, and basically, we'll buy everything west over to the river where we're farming this whole section of the map here. From there, we may look right here at this and end up building another farm here to farm basically this section from the river across. So, actually, not sure what's going on right here by 10 there. That may be a good place for the cattle farm, possibly. Or right here by 17. And this is actually where I was thinking at for the cattle farm. It was right here off the main road by 17. This would actually be road crop, but you got this little field here where we could build a hay field. And then you've got these small fields right across the road where we could do our crops for silage, and if we end up doing hogs, fields for what, sunflower, potato, and oats, I think. I don't remember. I don't run hogs a whole lot, so. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at for an expansion plan. And I wasn't paying attention. And unfold it again. Oh, I was way off when I said 2 more. It'd be more like 4 more. Oh, I had it. I moved. Well, we're gonna have to head back to the farm and get seed before we even get this field planted. We got enough seed left in the tender for 1 more fill up, I believe. Yep, 1 more. We'll just touch over 31 bushel. And we've got 40 something in it. 43. So we can fill it up 1 more time. Now, can you imagine had we not bought the other tractor and planter, or leased the other tractor and planter, how long it would take to do these 5 fields? I mean, good lord. It would take absolutely forever. I mean, I could have gone with a bigger planter too, but I want to get everything kind of paid off, or get the loan paid off, and then buy these 2 fields over here like I was talking, and then we'll look at buying a bigger planter and a bigger drill. And honestly, we'll probably end up selling one of the planting setups, and then the other one we'll keep to go to the cattle farm. There's no reason to run one of the bigger planters on the cattle farm. Soybean, our rows are getting where they're going to start getting shorter here before long, so it won't be a whole lot longer, and he'll be done planting soybeans in that field. For now, though, I think we'll just jump back in here. Go ahead and run up a little bit further. And then we'll just cut across the field, pull the headland back down the other side of the field there. And then we'll just go back to the bottom and start running and working our way up. I should have just stayed to the left there. Go around him. Now, and this is that spot where I screwed up and flattened instead of smooth. I had to come back and re-rip that. I don't see planter marks in there. Shows it is planted. I just don't see the lines. We'll know for sure when he gets done planting. If it didn't plant, it's gonna show a big black spot right there, or gray spot right there on the map. But I'm pretty sure that he did. I think it just looked funny because it had to be ripped. But this will allow us, get us lands down here where we can actually run for a little bit. By the time we actually catch up where our headlands end, he should be done planting this field or real close to it. just a little more room there. That's a lot more. Alright. But he's probably getting short on seed again. Probably gonna have to jump over there here in just a minute, fill him up again. Oh. Accelerated a little bit faster than I was expecting. I was kind of figuring on the way that I'm going to do this video to keep it from just going on forever is once both planters get done, I'll move them over to the next field, get them started, get the course play set up, get them started, and then I'll might finish rolling. I don't know. Depends on how far I am from being done. And then calling that video. And then I'll finish planting the corn and soybeans and rolling and doing all of that. And then the next video will actually be spraying herbicide. That should be a fairly short video. So, and then we'll get into harvest. So, could be good. Which, as you guys saw, I do have 2 combines. Trying to decide if I'm going to run both combines in a single field, or if I'm going to run them in 2 different fields. I haven't decided yet. I mean, my combines are pretty small, so I may just go ahead and run both of them in the same field, because their headers are the same size, so it'll be pretty easy to set them up to run them in the same field. And we'll be baling a little bit of straw, a little bit of soybean straw whenever we harvest soybeans, and then hauling it to the barn, which I do have soybean straw in the barn from when I initially harvested fields after I bought them. I'll have to see how much space I have in the barn, because I may actually have to haul some of that to sell. So the rice straw, whenever I baled all of it, I just sold it. I didn't keep any of it, which of course I took a hit because obviously it wasn't at peak price when I sold it. I literally took it right out of the field and sold it. But which is why the soybean straw is sitting in the barn, is because I was gonna wait until it was at peak price to sell it. But I haven't checked. When is peak price on my soybean straw? December. Yeah. So I missed it this year. So I'll probably just fill the barn with what soybean straw we get. As far as the regular straw, I'd probably just sell it straight off. Matter of fact, I know I'll sell it straight off because regular straw isn't worth near as much as soybean straw. I will also brown bale corn stalks. And just store them in the barn, just because you don't get a whole lot of bales from the corn stalks, but they're also pretty valuable. So peak price on rice straw is January, around $38. Soybean straw peak price, like I said, is in December, and it's around $57. Now corn stalks peak price on those is July, and they're $117. Now granted, like I said, you don't get a whole lot of bales from the corn stalk, but we'll go ahead and bale them, store them until we've got a decent amount, and then sell them. It's just kind of one of those things. Why even mess with it? Well, it's a little bit of extra money, so it doesn't take that long to bale them. So every little bit helps, right? Especially when you're trying to build a farm. I missed that one just a little bit too. Oh, I knew it was coming. But this will luckily be the last time, so. Yeah, I do have the vehicle set up for manual start and stop. And the reason why is just more of a realism type thing. I'm sure you guys saw over in the shop, I've got the 766 and auger, and then the bins over at the farm that aren't part of the grain elevator. So, and that's that tractor and auger is for filling those bins. Now, would I have to do it? No. That's kind of like realism. I should have opened that before I filled that, but does the tractor have to be running for the auger to work? No, it doesn't. but it's just kind of a realism thing. I can hook the tractor to the auger, you know, start the tractor, keep it running while I unload the truck or the gravity wagon into the auger and load the bin, and then I can shut the 766 back off. So it's just a realism thing. I really wanted to put a 1256 on the auger, but I have not found anyone that has built a 56 series, the International 56 series. And the reason why I wanted to put a 56 series on the auger is because that neighbor of the farmer I was talking about before that had the internationals, or Farmville's Case International, that's what they used for their auger tractor, was a 1256. And it was actually, and like I said, my brother was good friends, went to school with one of the sons, but it was his grandfather's tractor that they had actually taken and completely fully restored. I mean, the thing, it looked like it just came off the showroom floor. I mean, the only thing they used it for was running the auger. Occasionally they would use it for bush hog or something like that if one of the other tractors wasn't available, but the rest of the time that thing, it lived in their shop, their all enclosed shop. That tractor is absolutely gorgeous. And that was the only reason why, or the big reason I wanted to put the 1256 on the auger. But like I said, I have yet to find a 56 series or a 1256 model. I found the 06 series, the 66 series, and the 86 series, which are all great series. I don't have any of the 06s just because they're super small tractors for the most part, and I don't use anything quite that small. Now if I was gonna do like a full generations map, like starting in the 60s, then yeah, I would do an 06 series, but excuse me. Now I have looked into learning how to actually mod from scratch, not just edit mods, and I would love to learn how to do it, not just for Farm Sim, but for other games as well. And unfortunately, I've never had time. When I was working full time, you know, I worked 8 to 10, 12 hours a day. So by the time I got home, I literally ate dinner, if I even ate dinner, would watch an hour or so of TV just to unwind and then shower in bed. I mean, and then I'd wake up the next day and do it all over again. So then on the weekends, it was doing stuff around the house. So, you know, I had to mow the yard or fix this, fix that, or, you know, do laundry and all of that stuff that didn't get done during the week because I was too tired. And whenever I did have a little bit of time on the weekends, if I wasn't working over the weekend and I got that other stuff done, and I just wanted to relax, you know, watch a little bit of TV. If I did game, I wanted to relax. So I wanted just to, you know, throw up Farm Sim. There are tractors done planting corn. But throw up Farm Sim, relax, play Farm Sim. That's what I played mostly, was Farm Sim. I played a little bit of, you know, like Gift from Tarkov or something like that, but just depending on my mood. But now that I've been unemployed for a while and started streaming and doing stuff like that, now this is my job. So, you know, recording the videos and editing them and putting them up and doing all of that. I've started looking into it a little bit more as far as learning, and the scripting and stuff like that, if I've got a base script to go off of, I can do it. And should be able to get it to do what I want. But it's the modeling side. Now, I have experience in CAD. Granted, many generations of CAD ago, and now I'm being offshore AutoCAD. But as far as the actual modeling and stuff like that, I just haven't really dove into it to figure out exactly how to do it, because I'm gonna have to self-teach myself, watch YouTube videos or whatever, and it's time consuming, and I need to be able to dedicate myself to do that, right? Which unfortunately, if I dedicate myself to do that, which is great, then I'm gonna be lacking in either getting content posted up, doing my recordings, doing video editing. You know, something's gonna fall behind. So it's something that's in the back of my mind. I still play with it a little bit on the sides when I have some time, but it's mostly script editing and stuff like that. I do texture edit some. As I said before, I'll add if a series of tractors doesn't have all the models, in it or something, and I want to add those to make it more complete, I'll add those engines to the script, and as well as add the decals on the sides to coincide with the changes, and do all of that. I've added tires, stuff like that. But as far as actually going in and editing the actual model itself, or creating one from scratch, or building an entire mod from scratch, that I'm just completely in the dark on. So I'm gonna keep looking into it, keep messing with it, but I don't expect that I'll ever be building mods. So he should be done planting beans here in just a second. So I think I'll let him finish planting beans. Put a hired helper in there. Yeah, I think he actually literally just finished planting beans. Yeah, he's on the last run now, so. Alright, so he's done. Getting her folded up. Alright, we're gonna zero that out. Oh, and I'm gonna go to the far side of this field, set up a course plate, and see if that will keep him running up and down, even with, see if that will have him running up and down this way rather than across this way. Not that it matters for beans, I'm just thinking ahead for next year, next season when we plant corn. So got to clear the course. I think all of our settings actually look really good. Well, kind of. Not quite sure what's up with that. Again, for beans, it doesn't matter. That will matter for corn, though. You saw that, didn't you? I almost screwed up and cleared the course. Alright, there we go, planting again. Alright, let's jump over here. We're gonna go ahead, clear that. Pull him up out of this field. I think I'm gonna set him just off of this corner and going right along there. And we're just gonna go ahead and let him run instead of popping him off. Actually, no, we won't, because we got just a little bit of seed left in the tender. We'll go ahead and empty the tender into planter before we take him off. But we'll go ahead and set our course plate and all that, and then we'll jump in the truck and tender, bring it over, empty out the tender, and then I'll run the truck and tender back to farm, put the pallet of liquid fertilizer on, fill up the tender, and then we'll call it a video. And then I will finish up our planting this season, and then I'll see you guys again when we spray herbicide. It should only be a month game time before we can spray, and maybe two. Because I've tried the weeders before, and I don't know if I haven't ever hit them at the right time, the actual mechanical weeders. I just don't know if I just haven't ever caught them at the right time for them to work right or not, or I'm doing it wrong or what, but I can't ever get them to work like I want them to. You know what? Before I do that, better clear this. There we go. Clear that course. It was set to 9.1 meters. So 9. Alright, get that generated up, and see he's running up nice up and down. So loading, saving. Yeah, I mean, like 12 and a half bushels in the tender. But that's 12 and a half bushels that will be in the planter. So, if we can get this truck and tender there, put that waterway right there, yeah, we should be alright. Okay. Yeah, we'll be able to get there. I think we might have accidentally filled the planter up. Hey, we did fill the planter up. And apparently, we're gonna start going this way. So, I have to move the truck tender out the way for a minute. pulled up here on the road. And we'll get him started planting. We'll go fill up the tender, seed tender. Drop the pallet, deliver fertilizer on the truck. One feature I wish that Farm Simulator had, and it may be in 25 or I don't know, is that, you know, we're out here working around, we're out here planting, we're out here harvesting, we're out here doing this stuff. There's all these other fields and farmers around, but you don't ever see them out in the fields doing anything. It's like, you know, it's a bare field and hey, look, all of a sudden it's, you know, it's disc or it's cultivated or it's ripped, or it's got lime on it. You didn't see anybody out there doing it. Same thing with planting. Like, all of a sudden one day it's planted. It's like, hey, I didn't see anybody out there planting that field, but it's planted. Same thing with harvesting. It's like one day it's there, the next day, or later that day, it's harvested, and it's like, hey, got invisible specters out there working the ground. So I just always thought it would be kind of cool to actually see the other farmers and having equipment out there working around the farm. And I'm sure that to do that, it would be probably very system heavy, whether it be, you know, on the PC, CPU, RAM heavy, GPU heavy. Same thing on consoles. It would just be very system heavy, and I just don't know if they don't put that in because it would be so system heavy or what. But I just always thought it'd be kind of cool that it seems like you're the lone farmer out here working, and all these other fields just magically, mysteriously, you know, work gets done to them. It's like, I don't think I've ever driven through farm country where when ground was, farmers were in the field, that you didn't see farmers in multiple fields. Whether they were the same farmer, you know, different workers in different fields, or whether it was just multiple farmers. But anyway, that's kind of my rant, 2 cents, however you want to say it. Put our torch down for safety. That loader being up that high, you wouldn't be able to get out. Alright. Hook that up. We're gonna have to top liquid fertilizer off here in a little bit. So we'll have to top the liquid fertilizer off here just a little bit whenever get down to probably 10% or so. I'll go ahead and top it off. Whoa! Making that corner a little bit hard, and back of the truck got a little bit wonky. So go ahead and run back out here to the field. Field edge will get a park, and we'll get it prepped to head out and take care of the tractor and corn planter. I think I'm just gonna set this first corner here for now. I have no idea where it's actually gonna run out at. So this right here works for me. So, thanks for hanging out with me today, everybody. I will see you guys next time whenever we are spraying herbicide. So, I'll get all this finished up and ready.